visit number 2 using your NRG immune enhancement system. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to retest everything that you tested in the first visit. So you're going to go to your screening process evaluation part 1, that's on your company screen or your first tab. You're going to want to go ahead and highlight everything that you tested before. So go ahead and left click on the screening process evaluation part 1, then highlight everything below by right clicking. You'll see all the headings below are now highlighted, and you're going to move directly from this screen to your multi-scan screen. Your multi-scan screen, for the people who used to use the backs, this is the test that you're used to seeing. So what you're going to do is you're going to retest the body 100-point tune-up scan and the biofeedback stress indicators, which goes through all the groupings that you tested before, but now you're going to test it again to make sure that you've cleared everything out. Also, in order to make sure that you've cleared everything out, you're going to test these things in total tincture, mother tincture, and quantum energy. So you're going to retest all the groups that you tested before in every energetic state that you can to make sure that you're clearing it all out. In order to test, make sure that you have the body 100-point tune-up scan and the biofeedback stress indicators loaded and ready for testing. At that point, you can go ahead and hook your patient up. So just like any other test, you're going to make sure you put the ultrasound gel just distal to the knuckle and their middle finger. Hook your patient up. Make sure their hands aren't touching. And go ahead and click on the Vector Multiscan. You'll see the hand go down. You'll see the group that's highlighted has all its components brought up over here to the middle screen. As the testing is going, you'll see the blue line cross the screen. If it finds anything, it'll bring it over into this green screen, just like the back system used to. It may not find anything. Remember, you treated for everything on your first visit, so theoretically there shouldn't be anything left over. This is a way to make sure there's not. When the test is completed, the hand comes up. Now this patient still has some issues in total tincture with combination sensitivities. Now you're also going to test your patient again in MT and QE. In order to do this, you go to the top middle portion of the screen where it says TT, and you're going to click one down. That brings you to MT. This is a different tincture or a different strength, a different concentration in order to retest your patient again. So once you have MT showing there, go ahead and test again. These tests, when you're doing the tests, testing through the body 100-point tune-up scan and the combination sensitivities, it only takes about maybe 30 seconds. So it's not a big deal to test them twice. And you'll probably get different readings in TT, MT, and QE because, again, you're testing different strengths, different tinctures, different concentrations. The test is almost complete. Okay, when the hand comes up, you know you're finished with that scan. Now again, you're going to want to make sure that you test your patient in TT, MT, and QE. So you've tested him in TT, now you've tested him in MT, so now you're going to move to QE, or quantum energy. All you have to do is switch it to QE and hit your Vector Multiscan button one more time. Again, another 30 seconds to a minute, and then you've scanned through all of your groupings again, but in multiple sensitivities. Okay, so now the test is finished, the hand's up, and you've retested all your groups in TT, MT, and QE. This particular patient still has some issues in all three tinctures, or all three sensitivities. So you can go ahead and remove the clips. Go ahead and have your patient wipe their hands off. And you're going to go ahead and treat for everything that you found here. Now, things that you're testing in Multiscan are automatically entered into hold number 1, your green hold. In order to go to this hold, you're going to move over here to your green, little green box there, and this is going to be the hold that you use for treatment. Now, everything's already entered in, and everything's already highlighted and ready for you. So in order to treat your patient, again, what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and go down to the transfer icon at the bottom of the screen. Click on the transfer icon. Again, go over to Devices. Click on Devices. Now, sometimes you may get a 0 as far as seconds. That happens sometimes when you ask the computer to enter in a large amount of signal. So with this, especially since you have things in MTTT and QE, you may have to close out. Go ahead and highlight one of these things. So you're now asking it to enter one signal in to your DCM. Go ahead and go back down to the transfer icon, click on that, and give yourself a counter or allow the computer to pick some seconds that you can use for treatment. So for this, you see that it actually gives you a second, so it gives you a counter because you're now asking for a smaller signal to be inputted. Go ahead and close out of there. Again, go highlight everything by clicking the Tag All button. Then go to your transfer icon, transferring everything that you've highlighted into your DCM. Click on Devices, and you'll see that now you have enough seconds, or at least now you have a counter. So you're going to want to make sure you go to at least 500 seconds or give yourself enough time to treat the patient. You can do that by increasing the number of cycles or just moving your second tab further to the right. Once you're ready to treat, have your patient take out their shoes, socks, and go ahead and treat. Click on the Start icon. Make sure that you have some blue showing here. Make sure the laser unit is turned on. You're ready for treatment.
Now that we're ready to begin the treatment process, we're in the treatment screen. You click on the Start button in order to begin the laser. Once you start your treatment, you'll notice that a blue bar begins to rise. This is your timer, and it's only as a reference for you. Should the bar get to the top before you finish the treatment process, all you need to do is click Clear to reset your timer. You'll notice that the bar goes away, and go back and click Start one more time to continue. And just continue on from the point where you finished. Now that we're ready to start treating the patient, we're going to click Start, and the first position that we do is we're running the laser over what's called the governing meridian, which is actually starting between the eyebrows, over the center of the head, and down the spine to the bottom of the sacrum. The process should take you approximately 10 seconds to run. The first time you do the treatment, the patient's eyes are open. The second time, the patient's eyes are closed. And again, this swipe should take approximately 10 seconds. In order to get a better view, I've rotated the patient's body. On the third swipe, the patient should have his eyes open, take a deep breath, and hold it in. And on the fourth and final swipe, the patient breathes all the way out and holds his breath out. At this point, we continue the treatments on the patient's arms and feet. The first point that we do is on the right hand, called LI4, which is at the crease between the thumb and the finger. The second point that we're treating is LI11, which is the crease at the elbow. Each point is held for approximately 5 seconds. We now cross over and do the same point on the left arm. And then the left hand. This is called opening and closing the gates, so you're always going to be doing the same points in the same order. We now move on to the foot, treating point liver 2, which is approximately 1 inch above the crease between the first and second toe. At this point, we move on to the right foot to treat liver 2 again. And finally, to close the gates and do the last treatment, is back at LI4 on the right hand. And that concludes your treatment process.
All right, now that you're finished treating your patient, you want to make sure that you can print this visit and save this visit. Very easy to do. In order to print, you just click on the print icon at the bottom left-hand side of the screen. Let the cursor hover over that, it'll say print hold. Click print hold. This will bring up your print screen. At the top left-hand side, you'll see your print icon. Click that. Let this print out. Close your print screen. Now you want to make sure you save your visit. In order to save, you're going to archive. Archive button is found at the top left-hand corner. Let the cursor hover over that, it'll say archive visit. Go ahead and click on this. Now what you have here is in hold 1, so you want to make sure that hold 1 is the one that's checked. Then you just click archive. You've saved your patient visit. Now, this is important. You want to make sure that when you're archiving your visit, your patient's name is at the bottom of the screen. Don't leave your previous patient's name in there and then archive the visit, because it'll save it under your previous patient's name. So now that you've archived your visit, you can go ahead and clear the visit out. To do that, again, just move up to the top left-hand side of the screen, click on the File button, move down to Clear Visit, click on Clear Visit. Yes, you want to clear. Now hold number 1's cleared out. One of the things that we actually suggest that you do in your second treatment is that you treat for everything that you found in TT, MT, and QE, just like we did now, but you can also go ahead and treat for what's equivalent to a system balance. What we've done here is we've entered in system body restructure in TT, MT, and QE, and universal process energy reform in TT, MT, and QE. This is basically just a treatment to give the body some energetic balance. What I do is I usually save this in the second hold. To add this to any treatment, all you have to do is click on your second hold, highlight everything that's in there, and this will now be added to what you're treating. In order to populate this list, to make sure you have a list like this, it's very easy to do. What you do is just make sure hold number 2 is open. Go to your second tab, and you can go ahead and enter in system body restructure, and this is going to be entering it in at MT. Go ahead and enter it in or insert it into the hold, and since you had hold 2 open, it's going to drop it into hold number 2. I'm not going to click on the button because it's already in there, but you can populate your own list and add this to any treatment anytime you want. We recommend doing this on the second visit to make sure that you're giving the body a system balance treatment along with the things that are still holdovers or the things that the body is still not balanced even after a first treatment. That's the end of day number 2 with the NRG Immune Enhancement System.